I'd like to call this meeting to order. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Ara.
Here.
Kennedy.
Here.
Micah.
Here.
Posh.
Here.
Moon. Carr.
Here.
President Nettemeyer.
Very good. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all. I was just counting back the years since I actually did this, and it was 17. So if I screw up a little here tonight, you got to be patient with me. First, the disposition of the previous minutes. You've all had a chance to review those. If we could have a motion to approve those.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Okay.
Any discussion in regards to the minutes? Then if the clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Ara.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Micah.
Aye.
Posh.
Aye.
Moon.
Aye.
Carr.
Aye. We'll move along to the village administrator's report. Ryan Grace, please.
Thank you. Just a couple of things this evening. The mayor wanted me to remind everybody that your statements of economic interest should have been emailed to you. So if you didn't see that email, please let us know. We'll work on it. Or if you need help completing it, let us know. We'll help you with that as well. And then two other quick things. One is there's the potential of doing an additional car show this year. We're working with the Bill Wilt Memorial Foundation. They're looking at doing a fundraiser car show in early June. It's preliminary at this point, but just so you know, that might be forthcoming as an additional village event. And then also we've engaged with a social media consultant to help us with some of our social media with the village. We have multiple pages. So over the next few weeks, you're going to see some changes on some of the content we're putting out and consolidating pages so that we get a further reach with everything. So just a couple of things to look for. So that's my report. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. We'll move along to the village clerk's report. Lori Charles.
I have no report this evening.
Thank you. Reports of officials, first being the village engineer.
Thank you, trustee Carr. I would just like to note that later on the agenda under action items is updating or adopting the updated zoning map. And that does include the zoning change that was approved by the board at the last board meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Village attorney,
There is no report this evening, Your Honor.
village treasurer.
You look good behind that. You look nice tonight, too.
Thank you.
Have never seen you in a suit. I have no report.
Uh, So there's no report. We'll go into the reports of the standing committees, first being finance and administration.
Thank you, trustee Carr. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 7A1, warrant 22006 dated March 24th, 2022, payroll and payroll expenses in the amount of $100,901.01. All fund expenses in the amount of $188,727.03 for a total of $289,628.04.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Oh, second, sorry. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Ara.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Micah.
Aye.
Posh. Moon. Carr.
Aye.
Just a update on the video gaming report I laid on in front of everybody. Basically, we're about $10,000 ahead on revenue. We just had a new vendor start up with video gaming in town. So we have 12 vendors now and 6 new machines. So we're up to 65. Things are looking good and maybe more money for the town this year than last year, which was a good year. So, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll move along to the Public Safety Committee. Trustee Kennedy.
Thank you. Just a couple quick things. And Raul had a slight discharge of chlorine yesterday, which could potentially be pretty dangerous, but the tri-state and our police department were quick to react. And they got the leak stopped pretty quick. Also, good job done by tri-state and fire department and the police department on the structure fire on Scenic this past week. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Municipal Buildings and Grounds Committee, trustee.
Thank you, Terry. Public Works cleaned out the brush next to the parking lot at the senior center this past week and put down mulch. It's looking great over there. Thank you. Thank you, Keith and Public Works. And then with Parks and Rec, we're helping on April 9th with the Easter egg hunt with the village from the girls, with the girls from the village. 10 o'clock at Lions Park, 11 o'clock at Willow Park. And we're, Parks and Rec are also going to help out on April 23rd with the beautification, the cleanup of the village with Public Works as well. That's my report.
Thank you. Public Works Committee, trustee Posh.
Thank you, trustee. The new village pickup that was purchased will be put in service probably sometime at the end of next week. Still waiting to have the bed liner put in. Crew is out this week with the chipper truck doing an early branch pickup. It was just like a winter cleanup, but their regular schedule is going to start May 2nd, and we'll be watching for that. Keith did get a new seasonal worker that started Monday. She has trimmed all flower areas around town and will be adding mulch to them next week, weather permitting. I have a small report here from my meeting with the Beautification Commission, reminding everybody that the paper shredding event will take place September 17th. More information to come. That's a Saturday. They will be hosting a butterfly garden presentation via Zoom on April 6th. Check the Facebook beautification page for details. Village of Willow Springs Cleanup Day, as was said, is the 23rd. And we'll all be working with Public Works and different commissions on that from 9 to noon. Their next meeting will be Tuesday, April 12th at 3:30. And Keith, if you have anything, that ends my report.
Thank you. License and Franchise Committee, trustee Moon.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. We have a couple that are in the process, but we have nothing as of this month. So next month, we have a couple. So,
Very good.
other ones. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Building and Zoning Committee has no report this evening. So we will move along into the action items. The first one being 2022-R05, the resolution authorizing revised emergency mutual aid agreement. The village has been a member of this agreement in the past. Participants agree to provide each other with emergency police assistance. This resolution updates the current participants, and Willow Springs participates with 30 neighboring towns. If I could have a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Trustee R.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Micah.
Aye.
Posh.
Aye.
Moon. Carr.
Aye. Our second resolution is 2022-R06, a resolution to accept the coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund established under the American Rescue Plan Act in the amount of $764,142.40. If I could have a motion, please, to approve this.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Trustee R.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Micah.
Aye.
Posh. Moon. Carr.
We'll move along to the third. It would be 2022-R-07, a resolution to designate use of the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act and received by the Village of Willow Springs to purchase and install a keyless entry system for all municipal buildings for a cost not to exceed $50,000. If I could please have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Posh.
Aye.
Moon.
Aye.
Car.
Aye. On to the fourth, 2022-0-08, an ordinance amending the village code regarding the Veterans Commission. If I could please have a motion,
So moved.
I'll second.
discussion? Please call the roll.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Posh.
Aye.
Moon. Car.
Aye. Move along to the next ordinance, 2022-0-09, the zoning map update. We have a motion to approve that?
So make that motion.
So,
Second.
Got the second, okay.
Okay, I'll second it.
Any discussion? Being none, please call the roll.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Posh.
Aye.
Moon.
aye.
Car.
Aye. And consideration to appoint, and excuse me if I mispronounce this, because I know I'm going to, Urbano Anacleto Dominguez as Parks and Recreation Commissioner for a term ending May 1st, 2023. We have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Trustee Ara,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Posh.
Aye.
Moon. Car.
Aye. Moving on. Any old business? There being none, any new business?
Excuse me, Mayor, I forgot to ask Chief if he had anything to add on my report. If I could ask. him.
I think with March being Women's History Month, I'd just like to take the opportunity to recognize the proud women that we have working for the Willow Springs Police Department, Police Officer Sharon Soltis, Michelle Cipriani, Barb Gagel, Angelica Bujaski, our Records Administration of Sharon Singer, Rose Holman, and Jenna Mirabelli, and fantastic crew we got over at Justice 911 Dispatch that handles all our dispatches. So, and Lori Charles and Mayor Nedemeyer and all the women in the crowd, very proud of you and enjoy the month of March as Women's History Month.
Thank you, Chief. We had no old business. Do we have any new business? Then we're going to open the floor to public comment. Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes. I have Kevin Maloney. Kevin, I don't know if the mic is turned on or not, but you might have to turn it on. Okay. it's on.
Good evening, board and everybody. And welcome to our village, our Administrator Grace, welcome to the village. I have three quick comments or questions. The first one, I was going to thank the mayor. I talked to her last meeting that she told me that no engine braking signs are up on the tollway. I took the ride up there the next day and there's one sign by the village of the Willow Springs Road going to UPS. There's a sign there saying no engine braking, and there's one right over above behind me over here in the Net Park, right by the tollway. It's right above the canal, I&M Canal there, and it says no engine braking. So that sign is about 75% effective right now, because you got the ones that won't obey the law, whatever. But I do appreciate the mayor. She came up to me and told me they were up there, and I know Trustee Posh was in that a little bit there, but the signs are up there, and thank you. You get a little more sleep at night, knowing that's up there.
75% more.
75, yeah. But yeah, it's a blessing, but thank you. I really appreciate that. And for all the residents down there, I know Lori's one of them that probably hear it once in a while too. But the second one was where the old Tech Air building where the roof came down this past winter. I noticed in the last couple of weeks, I don't know if there's anything going on, but there's the middle door, when you go down Beverly, you got the parking garage down there. One of the doors is off about a foot or so. I don't know if there's anybody in and out of that underneath there, because the fence is also taken down on the very end of it. So that part of the fence is on the ground and that door is open. So I don't know if there's activity or not in there. It could door be off, but the fence coming down, I don't know. You know, it seems kind of like they cut it or something. So I just want to let the village be aware, just, you know, something might be going on down there. I don't know. It could be dangerous because that, you know, the flooring and everything, you know, if somebody's in there could get hurt. So I know I was a kid at one time. I used to go, you know, things that I shouldn't have done it, you know, so. But then the third thing is also, is I know this is early in the season, and with all the construction down that we had from all the trucks, they damaged big time our streets down there, you know, not Blackstone, because that was done brand new. So but there's pothole city right now. I mean, from the frost and everything, I understand the plowing and everything, you know, you take some of the potholes with you, but I know I talked to a couple of guys down there in the construction outfit, and they said that they were responsible for patching all those holes. Now, I noticed in these last 2 years, well, this coming 3 years, they only did it once, and the village has been doing it. Thanks, Keith and his crew, you know, so I don't know if it's our taxpayer money paying for those potholes down by us, or the tollway should be paying for this. But last time I talked to the tollway last year, they were supposed to do it and they never did. So I was just trying to see when the pothole repair was going to be done, them or us, you know? So why do we have to pay for it when they're supposed to? Because I know we're going to get brand new streets down there. That's what they're saying. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year. So 1 more year. Yeah, that's what I thought, because they got 1 more year of that, what's going on down there. But I appreciate everything. Thank you, everybody. That's all I have.
Thank you, Kevin. Lori, do we have anyone else?
Next, I have Carol Valdez.
Well, the original question I was going to ask was about what was happening on LaGrange Road, because I seen the sign that they're doing construction on the bridges starting April 4th. And unfortunately, I go that way every morning, but I talked to the chief and Keith, and they told me what was happening, and I was like, uh-oh. But the other thing I want to know was, I seen that you were using some of the money from the coronavirus relief fund. Do you have to use that for specific stuff, or can it be used for anything in the village?
I can answer that if nobody has a good answer. Okay, so there are guidelines, and so there was 2 sets of Corona money we got. One we got 2 years ago that was used to cover salaries for people to stay on the job while everybody else was off, so that we could still provide police service. The newest one, which is under ARPA, American Recovery Plan Act, there are very specific guidelines. The village is choosing to, basically, we're able to use it for lost revenue during COVID shutdown periods.
Okay.
And then once we declared that that's how we're going to use it, there's guidelines on what we can use the money for. We can use it for infrastructure. We can use it for benefits to the community. We can, there's just a lot of them. There's
Okay.
so all of it. I'll tell you what we can't use it for, just to put your mind a little bit at ease.
Use it for?
I can't use it just to give somebody a raise. I can't use it to fund my pension fund that's underfunded. I
Okay.
can't use it to just go out and buy everybody new computers. I have to have a purpose within it.
No,
There
just-
is stuff that we can do, that we can give back to individuals within the community. And we're evaluating, 700,000 is a lot of money for this village.
Mhm.
And so we're evaluating different ways in which we can value the money within the community, but also find benefit for the residents.
Is there like a time limit where you
So
have to use it
so the
within so
money
much time?
has to be spent by 2026.
Oh, okay. So
So
there's not a rush.
So there's not a rush, and we have to decide how we're going to spend the money by the end of 2024. So we have about 2.5, a little over 2.5 years now to figure out how we're gonna actually spend the money and what we're gonna spend it on. I suspect we'll spend it by 2024. But there's little things that we're choosing to do around the village.
Okay, thanks. That's good to know. And because I didn't know if you had to like use it by the end of the year right away or what, because I was like,
We don't
that's a
even
lot of
have it
money
all.
to use by the
We
end
don't
of
even
the
have it
year.
all yet. We only
Oh,
got
okay.
half, we only got half of it. We're not gonna get the other half for another couple months.
Okay.
So we can't, it's not like we could have gone in and played, every town has the right to choose how they want to do it.
Mhm.
And you'll start seeing some of the plans, because as you know, I'm down the road and over there. And the plans are starting to start rolling out one by one. And so you're gonna start seeing some of the plans in the other towns come out on how they're gonna spend it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Carol. Do we have anyone else in-house
No.
signed up?
No, I don't know about Zoom. Is there anybody on Zoom that has any comments? They could raise their hand.
Yes, I have a comment, Mary Lou Edwards.
Okay, Mary Lou.
First, thank you. First, I wanted to thank Mayor Nettermeyer for during the last snowfall, getting that dog park cleaned up. People didn't have to climb over mounds. They didn't have to skid into the little dog park particularly, which was covered with ice because the snow was removed and didn't have a chance to turn to ice. So it was greatly appreciated that that would be included in the cleanup when the village does snow removal. Having said that, I was hoping that Parks and Rec Committee could take a look at the dog park. The gates really need attention, particularly the one between the small park and the large dog park. It's held together by bungee cords. Dogs can fly through it. I've seen dogs hit it hard and go right through it. So if we could reinforce those gates, look at those gates so that they would be serviceable and usable, it would be much appreciated. And perhaps we could do something with some mulch. The spring monsoon season's coming and it turns kind of really muddy there. So any extra wood chips or mulch that could be spread over there would be greatly appreciated as well. And lastly, I would like to ask Trustee Kennedy, I think, are there any ramifications for Row Chemical when they cause a leak such as the most recent one?
It depends on how big the leak is. And that'll go by the EPA, and then more governing bodies that's who determines what kind of fines they get.
So the village has no say so?
We do, I think, under a nuisance ordinance.
So do we exercise that privilege?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Do we, when there is a problem, we provide fire service, we provide police service or whatever is needed? The village, I'm assuming, provides that. Is there any remuneration that comes from Row to the village?
No.
Tri-County handled that for the most part, didn't they?
Yeah, that's their district, and so they always
Well-
handle it, and
We're part of Tri-County, aren't we?
tri-state,
So they're our fire department, correct?
correct.
They don't work
Yeah.
for us. They work for the taxpayers.
Yeah, they're
Right,
a government body.
But they
right.
end up charging RAW for any services they provide for RAW.
So in fact, we are compensated when there is something such as the leak that occurs. Is that correct?
Well, I know the fire department is able to write them a ticket for any kind of thing like that and charge them that way. But other than that, we don't.
Yeah. And it's not like it's a fine, it's really a reimbursement for the expenses that the village or fire district incurred.
Correct.
So when do we find out that indeed that has happened?
We could inquire to tri-states.
Well, I'm just wondering if Row just walks away from an event like that, or if in fact we are compensated for the trouble and the danger presented.
So Tri-State will issue a ticket, or they'll get reimbursed for their time and troubles. And then depending on any further actions, RAW could be fined through government agencies other than us.
All right, thank you.
Would our police department be reimbursed for time and it's spent over there?
I don't know that we have that in an ordinance anywhere.
You get anything for that?
Police department, when we get called well, we'll just secure the scene around there, and then it's the fire department that, through incident command, they take it over and involved with any chemical leaks. For us on responses to odor complaints, that's all monitored by the EPA. So we can't really cite them because we don't know if they're in violation of the EPA guidelines. We don't have any equipment to measure the air with that, or the air quality. And that's all, again, that's all handled through the EPA and the state on whether they meet the requirements of being a toxic odor.
Yeah, they're required by law for certain reportable quantities that are discharged, and that's all governed by the EPA, OSHA, things like that.
Very good. Is that all, Mary Louise?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else? Brent?
Yes, here I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk, and thank you, Mr. President. The only thing I want to say is, as you know, I've taken a job in another municipality as a public works director, and I've had opportunity during this winter season to drive through Willow Springs and to be on Willow Springs roads. And there is only one town that was as good as the town that I'm the director in, and that was Willow Springs. I think Keith has done an amazing job. Your streets were better than anybody around you. It's Keith is a credit to this town, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Is thank you very much for the service that you provided, Keith, and to your crew.
Brent?
Anyone else want to-
Is there anybody else?
I guess not.
No, I think that's it.
Executive session, we have none necessary this evening. Village President report, there is none for tonight. So I'll look for a motion for an adjournment. So moved. Please call the roll.
Trustee R,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Micah,
Aye.
Posh.
Aye.
Moon, Carr.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
What time is it adjourned? Huh?
That was my goal.
And you seconded the motion? You guys.